the blossoms. It's the end of April and it's 8:15 and it's still very light. Here, just taken off the frost protection of this. I think it's a little tiny red berry tree, which is hopefully going to fruit this year or next. This here is apple. I was unable to cover that, but I think it's not damaged. But this is more exciting. Look at all those little buds there, which have all been protected with their little coat, which I put on again last night because we had another frost warning. These are Cox's orange, an apple tree, so that might be quite exciting this year. We had one apple on it last year, which was, I had some of it, it was quite nice, but it was not as edible as I'd like. Had something in it, so that went in the compost. Now that bay tree there, that was in a little pot at the front in Montpellier Street in Brighton, and now look at it. And that there, that's one of the other shrubs that came. And the box, which I keep meaning to get the chainsaw on to prune it right back, they were out the front in Brighton and I nearly couldn't get them off the railings. They nearly stayed there. But fortunately we were able to get them. When they arrived here, they were 6 centimetres tall, if that, in little pots. And now look at them after 16 years. Now the beds are ready over here. I've just got to put the organic food in there. Now that there, there we go. That piece of metal is going to be painted, probably green. I've got green metal paint. Let's be careful with the money still. So I'd like probably a bit more flamboyant colour, but green will do. So yes, these beds are all ready to go. There's the solitary little flower that I've kept in there. And then there's where Birdie Wordy is still, in case Dee Dee decides to dig it up, or him or her up. And there's the other one with ash in, which Dee Dee was in earlier. Came in looking like a right tramp. And then off she goes, comes back in looking all clean, so God knows where that happened. And now you can see the rhubarb is sprouting up now. So there it is. And 2 little blackberry plants I bought from Gamvier. They're there. Hopefully they're going to take off nicely and cover that compost heap. Now the compost's not very beautiful. It's like so. But it'll take, I reckon, a year before that's going to be ready. And that's fine by me. There's the birdie table. No cannabis down there, regrettably. And then that lilac tree we were given as a gift by some neighbours who used to feed their miniature pony, Nougat, who they bought, having seen him pulling a cart round Amiens. They took pity on him and bought him, and he lived in a field near us on the dog walk. We used to give him an apple every day and he got to know us. And they gave us that little lilac, and it was planted about 6 years ago, and it was a bit spindly. It was only this year it's come up, and look at it now, and it might actually blossom. Can I get it in there? Yeah, there it is. Might get it to blossom this year. And there's those bloody weeds. Can't really complain about the garden being fertile. I've got to get off my backside and get down there and get all those weeds up. It'll do my stomach the world of good. And then the flowers are really coming into their own now. The colours, so we've got to keep them watered now. No rain for God knows when, how long. But look at all those lovely colours. Isn't that nice? That's what makes it all worthwhile, really. All these, I mean, they weren't from seed, I must say, but even so, they're quite something else. And the wind, which is died down now, but it's nowhere near as arctic and frosty as it was. The weather here is something else. We have tornadoes, which people in England find very hard to believe. But we have one in a village near us about 12 years ago that killed 6 people. It was in a village in this county, in this region. And then we had another tornado on the Belgian border about 4 years ago. Well, there's a camellia bush. Look at that, isn't that lovely? They won't last very long though, that's the sad thing. Those flowers all go. Yes, about 10 young people lost their lives in this tornado that came out of nowhere. And this came out of nowhere, it's all on film. And flattened the marquee they were all in this music festival. Poor buggers. I think 10 of them got killed in that. And it's because we're on the border of the weather from Britain, the maritime climate as it's called, the continental climate, which brings all the warm weather here, and I think there's another one that comes over. 3 of them meet here, and Belgium in particular being flat. Not quite so bad up here, it's more like Sussex here because it's rolling hills. But it's the winds and the friction, I suppose, it causes a different airstream. Anyway, these are the buds on the lilac trees. Now, hope you can see those. They're going to come into bloom very, very soon. And this is the magnolia being protected. Should hopefully bud nicely. And there's some more lilac trees. And there's Vincent's lovely greenhouse, and he's putting a balcony there, we think, which is going to be interesting, and we've got no problem with that. He's a good neighbour, like anyone in a village like this is. And there's the front of the lovely house. So now I will love you and leave you. Hope you're all behaving and not mingling too much, but enjoying the beer gardens as you deserve to, and having your vaccines, and again being nice to each other. And if you don't agree, try and be nice to each other by disagreeing. And have a nice weekend and breathe in and out. Let's save this now. And I'll love you and leave you, and there'll be another video, one of which will be in French for Antoine, our friend, who doesn't speak any English but actually does. Au revoir, have a nice weekend, bon weekend.